Figure out. I have 3 tasks. Thank you, Margot. Good afternoon.
Looks like the Queen Mom now.
I have 3 tasks. One Margot took care of. As you know, in preparing for this event, there were a lot of details. They wanted to make sure they heard the message about remaining here after the president left. Margot repeated that. Secondly, I'm a time filler. We need to give the band a rest. And third, we have to get ready to meet the president. So, are you ready to greet our president? Still need some more warming up. If you were president of the United States and you were looking for a city that cared about their youth, what city would you choose? It's getting better. And if you were the president and you were looking for... Now, if that didn't warm me up, I thought this question might. Who's going to win the Stanley Cup? Because the president doesn't have enough time to see everything he should in the city of St. Paul. I do wish he had the opportunity to see the private schools in this city. They also are very innovative and focusing on our young people. And we strive for progress. I wish he could see the partnership we have with the business community and the way people work together. They'll have a job and be job ready. I wish he could visit Como Senior High School on Saturday morning. We do have some boarded homes, but we're taking those boards off the houses with our Houses to Homes program, and we're going to provide affordable.
States, accompanied by Governor Arnie Carlson and Secretary Lamar Alexander.
President, Governor Carlson, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. About a month ago, the President outlined an education strategy to help move America more rapidly toward our national education goals. At that time, we wondered whether America might see the difference between hard work. Well, the country has. And today, we're privileged to come to a state that can easily lay claim to being one of the most innovative in America, as well as having one of the finest school systems in America. The President,
I saw a human being who genuinely cared about education in America and loved its children. I want you to know what it means to us to be cited as a state that is an example for others in the areas of creativity. But I also want you to know that that is just, we wish you will come back to Minnesota time and time again. Now, there is something else that is stirring the hearts of Minnesotans, and it's called hockey. And it's a great passion to bring the Stanley Cup on behalf of the North Stars and the people of the state of Minnesota, present you as our #1 fan of North Star Cap. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Governor. And let me just say, I'm here to thank you very, very much. I'm here to, they took it on the chin last night, but who knows? We got a whole new skating match out there today, and I have just seen Ray the Computer, what Minnesota has seen on the ice. I think we saw a lot of Bellows, a lot of Gagnons, a lot of John Casey's in the classroom. First-class kids starring in what they're doing. And I met with Tom King of the Saturn School. He's the Bob, and I tell you, he's got some up-and-coming North Stars on this team here, and I was delighted to see him. I want to thank Governor Carlson for his courtesy and his welcome, his commitment to education. I want to especially single out, as we talk about education, it would not be right if I didn't single out the community leaders, the teachers. Today, I came out here to learn, and also to free markets and free people, the land of democracy and opportunity. And we're also committed to leading the way in education. Our strategy for achieving this leadership is called America 2000, future, and you are to be congratulated. Isn't it wonderful about democracy? They have a right to speak, and I think I have a right to be heard, but we're used to this. Let me say that Oliver Wendell Holmes once wrote, I find the great thing in this world is not so much where we stand as in what direction we are moving. To reach the port of heaven, we must sail sometimes with the wind and sometimes against it. But we must sail and not drift and not lie at anchor. With America 2000, we are not standing at anchor. We've shoved off and set sail. From now on, business as usual will be very unusual. You know, in cities, in 5 core subjects. And fourth, to make our students first in the world in math and science. And that's what we saw a little of today. And fifth, to ensure that every American who's an adult is literate and has the skills necessary to compete in the global economy. And sixth, to free every American school from drugs and violence so that learning can take place. So our challenge now, yours and mine and the secretaries and the governors, is to reinvent the classroom. We call it, Lamar and I call it, creating new American schools for the year 2000 and beyond. It's just one part of our America's 2000 strategy to meet those 6 lofty goals that I just mentioned. No one says it's going to be easy, but it's a battle for our future that we must and will win. For today's students, we're designing better and more accountable schools. For tomorrow's students, we're creating a new generation of schools. For the rest of us, today's workforce and yesterday's students, we're transforming America into a nation of students, lifelong learners who continue to grow and explore every single day. And finally, all across this nation, parents and teachers, and God bless our teachers, and the neighbors are getting together in communities to make learning happen. We're talking about breaking the mold, building for the next American century, reinventing, literally starting from the bottom up to build revolutionary new schools, not with bricks and mortar, but with questions and ideas and determination. We're looking at every possible way to make schools better while still keeping our eyes on the results. And that's why I've come here to Minnesota. Just right down the river from this bluff stood St. Paul's first school, it was a one-room log cabin that a Mrs. Rumsey called to order about 150 years ago. And back then, Minnesota was a wilderness, although settlers soon transformed it into a teeming center of growth and enterprise. And here, along the banks of this great river, rail lines and grain mills and hard-working pioneers forged the center of the agricultural empire called the Great Plains. In these days, Minnesota remains a land of opportunity for many. Small business startups generate most jobs here in the Twin Cities. And big businesses ranging from agriculture to medicine, to transportation, to high tech. Minnesota remains a pioneer, and you can take great pride in that, leading the nation in educational choice. You have guaranteed that every family in the state can choose which public school its children will attend. Minnesotans know that education means opportunity. And many people help promote these great reforms, many here in this audience today. One who's not here, one such person is Al Shanker, president of the American Federation of Teachers, who was here last week, I understand, and he is very enthusiastic about your progress. I just came on a wonderful day, a wonderful experience from the Saturn School of Tomorrow, right here in downtown St. Paul. And I thought he was talking talking about my fibrillating heart. But let me share with you the basic idea behind this school as I understand it, as your experts explained it to me, as our Secretary of Education explained it to me. One that could only have become reality because of the bipartisan support that it received. Saturn is a citywide magnet school with over 200 middle school students coming from all over the district. Each morning they arrive at this old YWCA building ready to learn on state-of-the-art technologies, computers that teach reading and math, video disc systems that access libraries and encyclopedias. And let me thank the members of these two libraries for letting us, the directors, for letting us use this wonderful facility today. Thank you very, very much. Off-site classrooms and science and art museums that give kids hands-on learning. I asked one kid, expert in the computer already, about the 6th grade level, what do you want to be? You want to be an artist. And you can get that from this kind of innovative approach to education. The curriculum, you all know it, but the rest of this country doesn't. It includes core subjects, and yet it is designed to respond to change, respond to a changing world. One of global communications, computer programming, chemistry, personal wellness, and community volunteering. Let me tell you a true story. Some here may have heard it. That happened when the founder of Control Data, William Norris, stopped by the Saturn School to see the 4th and 5th graders at work. He noticed that one 5th grader, maybe the guy I just saw, was busy wiring a small motor to a model car. Might have been Elijah, and might have been Sarah, who I met with. A 4th grader nearby was on the computer connected to the model car. And Mr. Norris asked him, what's going on? The kid said, I'm writing the computer program to make the car start and stop. This from one of your 4th graders. And Mr. Norris, and this is the true story, Mr. Norris asked him how that worked, and the boy explained the first few steps, and he stopped. So Mr. Norris, the head of Control Data, asked him to keep going so he could get a few more details. And the kid said to his partner, what's the matter with this guy? He doesn't seem to understand anything about computers. Well, part of Lamar and my program is that adults are never too old to learn, and I'm trying. I'm starting in on the computers. Learned a lot today, as a matter of fact. I've had 3 computer lessons. And it doesn't take, the point is, it doesn't take the head of Control Data to see that Saturn doesn't look like a regular school. No well-fashioned desk. Kids on the floor, playing with mice, not your kind, their kind. Those little gadgets calling up the information on the computer. In fact, its motto is high tech, high teach, high touch. And that's because it isn't a regular school. Whether these kids know it or not today, what they were doing is exploring new frontiers in American education. And yet the school's director is realistic. He says, look, we see it as a work in progress. We have as many questions as we have answers. We don't hold it up as a solution. It isn't something that can be cloned, and like any new idea, we don't know what tomorrow holds for the Saturn School, and there may be aspects of its approach that from time to time generate controversy. But when we say break the mold, we've got to give communities the power to experiment, to think anew, to be daring. And I like what works. I'm confident about the prospects of new American schools and communities all across this country. The new generation of schools is but one part of our America 2000 strategy. With more accountability, with more choice in our schools, with a national commitment to lifelong learning, with the active engagement of community, our business community, and the business of education, we will embark on a new voyage in the American experience. You know, it's going to take time. We can begin today by pulling up the anchor and hoisting the sails. We've set our sights as a country now on new horizons, ones of opportunity and freedom and American leadership. And again, I am inspired by what I saw here today. And I want to take this message of progress and innovation, creativity, all across our country. I thank each and every one of you. I wish you all the best of your work, and God bless each and every one of you. Thank you very, very much. Well done, everybody. And now it is my pleasure, and it won't take a minute, to sign our new education bill that we will send up to the Congress today. I ask for your support. I guarantee you won't be disappointed if it passes. It's in keeping with what the people of Minnesota are doing. Thank you all very much. Very much. I really did enjoy it. Thank you. Bye, you guys. Work hard now.
And what do you think about this meeting with the president?
I think it was fun. It was really neat.
Did you talk to the president?
Yeah, I talked to him. I was showing him stuff on the computers, on the CCCs. I was showing him stuff in writing workshop or reading workshop. I was showing him how to use the mouse and just how to use the computers, basically.
What did he think?
Well, he liked it, I guess.
What did he say?
He said that's neat, and I guess he just liked it, sort of.
Was it fun?
Yeah, it was really fun.
What's your name?
Stephen Hushman,
Why don't you spell your last name?
Hushman.
Okay, you talked to the president, what did you show him and what did he say to you?
I showed him Compton's encyclopedia. It's an encyclopedia on a disc for the computer, and I showed him how to use it and what it can do and how the students use it at the school.
What did he say?
I showed him a picture of himself, and he said, look at that, they got a picture of me and stuff.
Was it fun?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they have to go there, what's your name?
Shannon Morris.
Shannon Morris? And you talked to the president? Or
Yep. Yeah, I showed them the discourse computers. They're in classrooms, and that's where someone in the front asks you a question, and they can type it and put it on a big screen. And what you do is you type your response or answer, and then they have it all written down on a computer, and they can put it up. Did you see your mom? And we showed him how to work it, and he asked us questions, and we put it down, and we got to ask him questions.
What kind of questions did you ask him?
Well, first I asked him when was he first interested in being the president, and did he ever expect to be the president? And some people I asked them different questions, like someone asked how he felt about Saddam Hussein, and stuff like that.
What did he say about Saddam Hussein?
Well, he said that he's very, can't remember his words, brutal, something like that. I don't remember his words. And then he told us that, he said it's him against someone else against us. And he said, well, someone else is right, it's us against him.
Were you nervous?
Pretty much, yeah. And then after a while I wasn't, and he went around shaking people's hands.
Nice guy.
Yeah, he is.
Nice. Did you guys talk to the president?
Yeah, I did.
What kind of guy was he?
He's really nice. He's normal. He asked me if I was glad that the Rangers beat the Twins yesterday.
He likes the North Star.
And what did you say?
I said no, I like the Twins better.
Yeah? Did he talk about the North Stars at all?
Yeah, he likes the North Stars. He wants them to win it all. Brendan O'Donnell. O''Donnell.
Good. Thank you.
I'm Lauren D.
Lauren D. Can you spell it out for me?
Laurendee.
Okay. And you're from over Saturn School, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What do you guys been doing out here? What's your job?
Well, right now we're working with the video equipment. We taped him at school, and we taped the whole talk.
What did you think?
Oh, it was really exciting. Gee, I don't know. It just kind of makes you feel like, wow, it's just really exciting.
Kind of speechless right now.
Yeah, I don't know how to explain it. It's just kind of like all these important people coming in, and at first you're kind of nervous and you don't know really what's going to happen, but after a while you figure it out, and it's lots of fun.
What do you think the president thought? I mean, what did he say to you guys?
Well, he seemed really excited, I mean, as much as everybody else was, even maybe more. So, he didn't know much about computers, but that's okay. I mean, he says he's trying to learn, so if you try to learn, learning's a great thing to do.
What do you guys think is going to happen now? I mean, you got this much attention.
Well, I'm sure there's going to be a whole lot of people interested in the school now. We've had big tours, this year, but now that this has happened, I'm sure we're going to have a whole lot of people coming in and just trying to find out more about Saturn, like the president.
It's pretty exciting stuff. Well,
yeah.
Thanks a lot, Lauren.
SHAYWEINBLATT. Weinblatt.
Weinblatt? So you say it?
Yeah.
You do the same job then, too.
Yeah, I'm working on the camera here. And we videotaped the president over at Saturn School and here giving a speech.
You ran over here, too.
Yeah.
You guys did a pretty big job. What did you think?
Yeah.
What did he have to say?
his speech was real interesting. We've heard him talk about Saturn before, and Saturn has been talked about before. But I think it's real smart to have. I think there should be more schools like Saturn, and Saturn's a really great idea and a great place too.
What did it feel like to have the President of the United States at your school?
It was pretty amazing. People weren't very nervous, but you could really feel the excitement going around, and everyone was real excited that the president's coming to your school.
Did you talk to him at all?
I didn't get a chance to talk to him up close. I was videotaping, and so I got fairly close to him, but I didn't get a chance to talk to him. It was sort of known that not everybody would get a chance to.
Are you disappointed about that at all?
No, not really. I didn't expect to really get a chance to talk to him. It was exciting as it was just getting to see him this close.
Well, thanks a lot.
You bet.
Of course, you've had presidential tie tack and everything else. You got some.
Yes, I got a close ties, and here's a tie clasp to prove it. He gave it to me, and we had 5 minutes of time. I know 5 minutes doesn't sound like very much, but when he's on a tight schedule like he is, I valued that 5 minutes and had a good chance to talk with him about his health and about friends of ours, and he was particularly impressed with that Saturn school. He just loved that experience.
That must have been fabulous. I mean, that was kind of the purpose, to be a little more intimate and personal talk and a chance to kind of relax before.
That was what we were doing before he came out to speak here.
What else did he have to say there? I mean, you get a chance to kind of hear his real impression, without having prepared speech.
He was fascinated by what he learned there, and he was going to find out from all of his grandchildren whether they're getting any kind of education like that, and he thinks that if not, he's going to try to see to it that they can. He really wants to see that kind of an education spread out throughout the country. I want to emphasize, he was really taken by his experience at Saturn.
Well, this seems kind of unusual to make a trip like this in the first place. Were you surprised at all when you heard he was going to make this trip?
Yes, well, I'm always surprised when he comes to Minnesota, because it isn't exactly the place where he's done very well. He lost the state, one of the few, and he's never been popular here, but now I think that he's proven he's not a wimp, and that he is the kind of leader that I've always known him to be, that he feels better coming here, and this particular school just happened to fit in with what he wanted to do. He's putting a big emphasis on education.
You mentioned his health, too. What did he have to say about that?
Well, he said he's lost about 13 pounds. He's gained 2 back, and his doctor has told him now that he can do anything he wants to do. He said, the trouble is, Wheels, I don't want to do as much as I used to want to do. So he isn't back to his full schedule. He works the Stairmaster every day that he doesn't run, and he exercises every day without fail. Lately, he hasn't been feeling much like it. They changed their diet. He changed his diet. He was happy that he was losing weight until he discovered that it was because of his thyroid. And I think he's going to be okay. He's a very, very strong person.
What does he say he's going to do with this trip? I mean, with the knowledge and what he's learned in this trip, what does he say he's going to do now?
What he told me was, as I said, he's going to try to see if his grandchildren are getting this good in education. But I think he's going to use it as an example of the education opportunities that for young people. He's very, very committed to education, and I think that someone told him that this school was worth seeing, give him some ideas about what to do in other parts of the country. He'll use this as a model, and he'll talk about it everywhere he goes, and I think he'll try to see that other states and communities adopt this progressive system.
Well, Mr. Whitney, there's other people that will be going through this tape. Would you mind just spelling out your name for them so that in case they do forget?
Yes, my name is Wheelock Whitney.
W-H-I-T-N.
W-H-E-E-L-O-C-K, W-H-I-T-N-E-Y.
Well, thanks.
The 1989 nominees for Best Performance by an Actor in a...
I think he was doing both. But I grabbed that and said, this is the real thing.
Tell those cameras what slip.
Toss to Mark. And they figure in years to come, the students will look back and really realize what a significant day this was for them and for their school. Obviously, they would have liked to have had all 212 students from Saturn School inside when the president came, but as we told you before, the Secret Service had other ideas. They didn't want it that many people in there, so only 67 students were selected to actually be in the classrooms and demonstrate their computers for the president. The others will get to see the speech just down the street there at the library where you are, Mark, and let's take it back to you. Yeah, that was impossible. Impossible to be a typical week as the White House advanced planners have been here and going through every inch of the school. Actually, they have gotten some improvements from the whole thing. We were out here earlier this week where we saw district painters out here painting the railings and the trim around the windows and installing some new bushes out there by the steps for the president to see. So there's some good and bad. Yeah, some disappointment, but the White House has been calling all the shots.
I'll zoom in. You just step off because I'm, who knows where he's going to get on.
I ask you a question about why you're here? Is that okay? Yes. Okay. All right. Where are you from?
St. Paul.
St. Paul. What's your name?
Val.
Val?
Cone.
How do you spell that?
C-O-H-N.
C-O-H-L?
N.
Cone.
Cone. Ice cream cone.
Okay. You work downtown?
Yes.
Okay. On lunch break?
No, not today.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Mark, actually, for most of the week, officials had been telling us to tell the people that they would have very little chance of actually seeing the president as he arrived. But as it turns out, here across the school, there is a vantage point, and just down the street, too, where they at least can catch a glimpse. And there are a number of people who work downtown or who live downtown who are here waiting for him to arrive. One is Val Cone. Why are you here, Val?
Well, I like to be where the action is, and I figured in the space of just a few months, I saw Gorbachev up close, and why not President Bush?
This is something else, isn't it?
Right, right.
You work downtown, but you say you came in on your day off?
I came back downtown on my day off. Can you believe it?
You're, what is this like for you being down here?
Well, I feel a pulse, an excitement here. I think that, where a lot of people gather to see somebody famous is a pretty interesting place to be.
What about you, ma'am? Can I ask you why you came down?
I'm from North Carolina, and I was just visiting your city, and this is a wonderful chance to see President Bush. It's exciting, and I must say, everyone in Minnesota is wonderful. It's a nice, nice place to visit.
You staked out your place rather early. I've seen you here for a while.
Yes.
It's a big moment for you?
It really is. This is exciting. Great opportunity.
Okay, we want to give you a look down the street now. You can see over the heads of some of these people who are here watching. They, in the last 5-10 minutes, have completely blocked off this section of Kellogg Avenue, anticipating the president's arrival just any minute now, Mark. Thank you guys very much. This arrival, some of them starting to cheer now. Well, Mark, the first couple of State Patrol troopers have just driven by, and now we see the motorcade approaching. I'll step aside here. If you can see over the people who've gathered to see this arrival, some of them starting to cheer now. See some of the limousines accompanying the president. Pulling up here to Saturn School on Kellogg Boulevard. And now around the side down Minnesota Street. They hadn't announced the motorcade, of course, for security reasons, but many of these people have been out here staking out their place. Now you hear a few groans from the people who thought they might have a better vantage point than they did. They thought he might be stepping right out and going in the front door, but as you can see now, they are pulling around the side of the building where there apparently is a back entrance. Inside there will be 67 of the Saturn School students ready to demonstrate some of the computers that officials say sets this school apart from many others. Actually, they say they have a lot of the same technology as other districts, but because of corporate donations and this innovative project that they have going, they have a lot more of it. But a couple of students, actually, we've just seen them out here on the corner learning technology, and they are there to join the press corps and document it for their school. So we'll stay out here, and we'll have much more for you later on, Mark.